Hey everyone, I'm Majiin and welcome in to World Tour Weekly, your one-stop shop for all competitive Flesh and Blood news. We had a pretty action-packed weekend with Battle Hardened Houston, the 6-year anniversary stream, and of course another weekend of ProQuest Yokohama events. Let's get into it. I wanted to start this video off by going over all the exciting stuff that was mentioned in the anniversary stream. First up was a dev talk between Brian Gottlieb and James White discussing the brand new Young Hero format, Silver Age. If you haven't heard of Silver Age yet, it's kind of a successor to the Commoner format where you're restricted in playing the higher rarity cards. In this format, you're only allowed to play commons, rares, and basic cards. They discuss how important it is to have a format that is not only easily accessible for newer players, but also still very fun and very competitive. James mentioned that the format basically came from an idea of an eternal Blitz format, but that the Blitz format started to kind of fail in its original purpose, which was to show off the Flesh and Blood game in a fun, fast, and affordable format. I'm really excited about this format because I really enjoyed playing Commoner, and I think there's a ton of fun commons and rares that don't really get to see their own share of the spotlight because they can't compete with powerful Majestics. The big announcement of this dev talk though was the Silver Age pre-constructed decks. They come in 2 chapters. Chapter 1 featuring Dash, Bravo Flattering Showman, Icelander, KO, and Viserai, while Chapter 2 has Enigma, Azalea, Arachne Web of Deceit, Phi, and Dorinthia. These will be coming out on February 13th. They'll come with a set 18 booster pack and should be about $20. James makes a point on this dev talk that the pre-constructed decks are tournament ready, and it seems that they are expected to be very competitive right out of the box. So much so that they refer to them as your $20 ticket to the $2 million World Tour, which is a fantastic tagline. This lets us know that not only can we expect these pre-constructed decks to be pretty solid in the format, but also that the total prize pool for the World Tour will be moved from $1.5 million this year to $2 million next year. I call dibs. Classic Constructed can often be a hard sell for new players right out of the gate, and unfortunately, if you're looking to play officially supported events, there's not a lot of other options. That's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about Silver Age. It's going to make getting people into the game so much easier than it was before. Not just because of the price though. While I do think the Blitz decks are a good way to introduce people to Flesh and Blood, I don't think they dive too deeply into how each hero wants to play, and you can't exactly pick one up and rock up to your local armory and be competitive with it. These Silver Age precons should help with all of those problems. You have tons of options with totally different playstyles, rares should give you options with a bit more pizzazz, and they're competitive right out of the box, all for a super affordable price. I see myself picking up quite a few of them, not just for the new cards that are supposed to be in them, but also so that I have an easier way of introducing people to the game. To wrap up the Silver Age discussion, we also got some updates to the ban list, which you can see here. And lastly, the first Silver Age World Tour events have been announced, taking place in late November in Valencia and Seattle and Hong Kong in mid-December. Silver Age wasn't the only topic discussed during the anniversary stream though. We also got a preview of the new Golfing Reinar and Romping Club promos, which you can get at the Philadelphia merch booth by spending $150. Speaking of promos, the new Calling Champion Gold Foil was revealed, and it's Quick Dodge Flexors. Except it doesn't look like previous gold foils. That's because it's the first ever Marvel gold foil, and I really want one. On the full art side, it also has a Calling Champion stamp on it, which just makes it so much cooler. We also got a sneak peek at these Black Friday promo packs, which you can get at eligible gem stores starting November 28th. We don't really know anything else about them though. If you have any speculations as to what might be in it, please let me know in the comments. I haven't been able to come up with any good guesses on my own. And to wrap it all up, we got some info about the next Road to Nationals season starting January 3rd with some pretty cool prizes. Like I said, a lot of neat stuff. Okay, now that the anniversary stream has been covered, let's talk tournaments in today's Metagame Minute. Let's kick things off by taking a look at the ProQuest data for this last week. Syndra got tired of not being number 1 and decided to finally take the throne as the deck with the most wins for the week. Behind her is Verdant, Gravy Bones, KO Armed and Dangerous, and Dash.io. Florian has had a pretty meteoric fall off lately, dropping all the way down to the bottom of the graphic with only 2% of the total wins this week. I also wanted to shout out KO Underhanded Cheat, who got 4 wins this time around and whom I've been hearing about more and more every single week. It also looks like Kano is slowing down in wins a bit as the format matures, which means he's probably going to be legal for the World Championship in a few weeks. He currently has 945 LL points, but he's only gained 59 in the entire Super Slam season so far, and I don't see him pulling together another 55 before the tournament. Sorry to all the Kano haters. What this info tells me is that Syndra, Verdance, and Gravy are all still at the top of the meta, but quite a few heroes really are not far behind. This tends to be my favorite type of meta, where there are some established strong decks, but specialists and clever counter picks can still really shine. That's enough about Classic Constructed though, let's talk Living Legend. Battle Hardened Houston was this last weekend in the Living Legend format, and it had a very strong Viserai representation, and then a pretty even spread of all the decks you'd expect after that. And also one KO underhanded cheat. Shout out to whoever brought that guy. When looking at the top 8, we got the usual suspects with 2 Viserai, 3 Chain, 2 Starvo, and 1 Briar. After watching this tournament, it was incredibly apparent to me just how strong Bloodsheath Skeleta is in the format. With Viserai using it to power up some truly ridiculous Sonata turns, and even Chain using it for a good amount of value, it's pretty clear that this chess piece has an important part to play in the LL format moving forward. And with the World Championships coming closer and closer, you can bet that players were keeping a close eye on this event to see what they should be playing in Philadelphia. Okay, now that we've gone over the meta for this week's events, let's talk champions in today's weekend winners. Since we only had one event this weekend, this is going to be a pretty quick segment, but congratulations to Bird Cabrera for taking first place in Battle Hardened Houston with RuneGate Chain. On Sunday, Brody Spurlock won the ProQuest Plus, playing Verdant's Thorn of the Rose. Congratulations once again to all of our weekend winners. Speaking of Bird winning things, I wanted to showcase a pretty neat play we were fortunate enough to see on coverage during the Battle Hardened. Let's take a look.
Maintain at least some composition, because with Chain, you have your secondary hand, you are going to be banishing off the top, but I think it's going to get to a pretty precarious endgame here. Let's see, Bloodsheath is getting popped. We are just going to play Phantom Wraith from Ham for 2 and 6.
Yep.
I think we're definitely going to see the double Revel here with Spellbound Creepers.
Yeah. So walk me through how this interaction will work coming up.
Well, you play a Revel, and then you Spellbound Creeper instant out the other Revel, and then at that point, it recognizes that another non-attack action card has been played, so the instant speed one will resolve, and then the normal one will resolve at that point, because it will have recognized there's another one that has been performed. So I do think that he might just die here.
Hold priority.
So down to 11, hold priority on the Rebel.
Just like we explained, holding priority.
Activate the Spellbound. Play the other Revel.
Yeah, and just like we said, here it is.
They see each other.
Oh, and there's Malefics that have made 2 Rune Chants already, so this is going to make
10.
8.
It's going to get 8. We're going to go to 10 Rune Chants
plus
here.
2 Arcane from the Rosetta Thorn. Oh my god, he dies.
Yeah.
He's going to explode.
Yep. RuneGate Chain. Very, very good
2 action points.
10 and 6.
Oh my god, 10 plus 6 takes the 10. There's a Rosetta Thorn coming up after this. Put all the cards in front of him. 2 and 2.
There it is.
And a fist bump extended. He dies, folks.
Ridiculous.
Bird Cabrera, Battle Hardened Houston, winner.
Spellbound Creepers are one of my favorite equipment pieces in the entire game, and I love all the tricky things you can do with them. Although I don't really miss playing them and explaining to new players that yes, I do actually get the second action point, and no, it's not cheating. Okay, now that we've gone over all the things that happened in the past weekend, it's time to look forward and talk about what's coming up. We, of course, have another weekend of ProQuest Yokohama, so make sure to head out to your local game store and not miss your shot at a Pro Tour invite and some great prizes. And then maybe trade me for your Cold Foil Overcrowdeds. I still need 2 more. We do also have Battle Hardened Baltimore coming up this weekend, which will be featuring the Living Legend format once again. The ProQuest Plus on the following day will be Classic Constructed. More importantly, we are less than a month away from the World Championship in Philadelphia, and I haven't even picked a Living Legend deck yet. If you want to stay up to date on all the happenings in Flesh and Blood as we inch closer and closer to the most important tournament of the year, make sure that you tune in every week. I'm Majiin, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on World Tour Weekly.